And that brings us to our next item, and that is public participation. And we have one person signed up to speak, and the board welcomes and encourages public participation. We respectfully ask that you adhere to the procedures and decorum provided in board policy, BEDH, public participation at meetings. Your comments should be limited or will be limited to 3 minutes, and Mr. Harris will help us with time if we need to get close to that. And any questions asked during public participation and placed in writing will receive a written response in a timely manner. So we appreciate your help there. And our one person that signed up is Ms. Kim Murphy. Ms. Murphy.
Good evening. Is this on? Good. My name's Kim Murphy. Now that the official enrollment reports have been posted, I wanted to check to see how the total kindergarten through 12th grade enrollment had changed since before the 2008 bond referendum. Using the reports on your website, I compared this year's 45-day enrollment with the 45-day enrollment of the 2006-2007 school year. I picked that year to use in the comparison because up until the referendum, that year had the district's highest enrollment, 16,587 students. Although there have been some decreases in enrollment and some increases, it surprised me to see that this year's enrollment is actually 32 students less than the enrollment of the 2007 school year. And although we have built several new schools and facilities, 2007 is still our highest ever enrollment. And Dr. Hefner, that was the perfect segue for my next comment. And I don't agree with Mr. White's position and his presentation. But after seeing the enrollment numbers, I thought I would then compare the budgets for that same time frame. I was so shocked at the difference that I had to recheck the number several times. This year's budget is $46 million more than the actual expenditures in the 2007 school year. So District 5 hasn't even surpassed the 2007 enrollment. In fact, it's 32 students less. But the budget is up $46 million. That's almost a 38% increase. It concerns me that year after year, the board continues to approve tax increases. And I got to say, well, except for when the board chairman is up for re-election.
Ms. Murphy, I want to remind you, we do have a policy, and you're calling names of board members and not in a very positive way, so I'll give you that warning to start, okay?
Sure, thank you.
You have 1 minute.
Year after year, more and more personnel are hired, and you have to pay for the never-ending overhead of new schools and facilities, and these facilities that weren't even advertised as being part of the bond referendum, but were constructed. These expenses come out of the same pot of money to pay our teachers, yet teachers are not getting the pay they deserve for the responsibility and the work they do to educate our children. We do a lot of great things in District 5, but I haven't even addressed the increase that taxpayers have to bear for the bricks and mortar for the new facilities and the maintenance of them and landscaping. In addition, I see a lot of time and effort and funding going to promoting the school district and promoting growth. I don't believe I'm alone when I say that I don't believe that's a core function of this school district or good use of education tax dollars. I'm hopeful this year when you develop the budget, you will hold the line and even consider a zero-based budgeting system. Thank you very
Ms.
much.
Murphy. Thank you. That concludes our public participation, and we'll now move to item number 13, which are the items considered in executive session, and we only considered one item, that's item 2A, and we'll only take action on one item tonight, and that's shown in Exhibit A. So do I have a motion? Ms. Hutchison.
I move that we approve the employment personnel recommendations as shown in Exhibit A.
Have a second. Ms. Baumgardner seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please raise your hand. And that passes unanimously. That brings us to item number 14, which is the approval of the proposed 2016, 2017, and there's actually a typo in our that we'll need to correct, 2017 district calendar, shown in Exhibit E. Do I have a motion? Ms. Hutchison?
I move that we approve the proposed 2016-17 district calendar shown in Exhibit E.
Have a second? Ms. Lovelace seconds. Any discussion? Dr. Hefner and Mr. Bounds, I'd just like to say I appreciate the process that we've gone through, and I know that you've had input from every faculty and all the parent groups and throughout the district, and hopefully we've got a very sound calendar. I think this year's calendar, due to some circumstances out of our control with the flooding, has served us well thus far, so thank you for that effort. That being said, all those in favor of approving this calendar, please raise your hand. All those opposed, that passes unanimously. That brings us to item 15, our discussion agenda,